All right, guys, welcome back. This is Gambler. This is episode 4. If you guys can't see, Dahl is not here. I'm going to be doing some interviews solo. Dahl has asked that he wanted to do our episodes every other week, so I'm going to be trying to get these out weekly. So without further ado, Silly is here. What's up, Silly? How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Awesome. If you guys aren't aware, if you guys really don't know what Solid Cloud Starborne this podcast is about, I've got Silly here. She is currently in the Starborne Discord as community manager, but I know that's not the case. Silly, did you want to kind of maybe give some backstory on what you do with Solid Cloud
Hello,
Starborne?
Clouds. Yeah, so basically, I started as a community manager, and as I kind of moved on into a more permanent job, more permanent position, I moved a lot more into doing development for Sovereign Space. And I kind of stayed as a community manager because basically it allows me to like be in touch with the players all the time and stuff.
Yeah.
But like I'm being mostly assisted by Branks, who's doing a lot of the community management, while it allows me to like while I'm still overseeing stuff, I'm able to like spend a lot more time into development and bug fixing and stuff like that, and making it a better place.
Awesome. Awesome. So I'm just gonna speak my mind a little bit. So I've been around for almost 3 years, and I it's is it safe for me to say that you were a player first before you started becoming community manager or developing the game?
So I started playing in the game in Alpha 9. I believe it's Server 5, although my memory isn't very good at this
Okay,
point. I was a terrible player back then. And then
I think we
got
all
to
were.
learn a bit more about the game and everything. I participated in the end of Alpha tournament as well,
Hmm.
and then played a few servers in Beta. And then I got recruited somewhere in the middle of Beta. I don't remember exactly when. I believe just before Beta tournament.
Okay.
And then I kept playing, but I was more like undercover because obviously it would create a lot of issue for me personally, but also like for the company to be playing as myself. So I'm still
Yeah.
playing, and very often I'm just not playing into Silinaly anymore.
Okay.
But yeah, I was playing for a very long time. That got recruited as a very temporary community manager, and then when Exorbitant left, I took out a bit more of the role. And then since September, I'm full time and doing most of the development now.
So I know I had asked this like just with our 2 seconds messaging back and forth getting this set up.
Mm.
Like you aren't currently over there in Iceland with them, but you you participate with meetings and you kind of obviously you
Exactly.
have tasks and the vision of the game and stuff
Mm.
like maybe give us some insight how you've been over to Iceland, right?
I've been once very recently because of COVID. It was hard to like travel and stuff, and I had more personal reason why I couldn't really travel. But yeah, I've been meaning to visit for a long time now, and then COVID kind of got in the way.
Yeah,
Um,
I think it's
but yeah,
messing
I
a lot
was
of things up.
so while my position was very permanent when I was community manager up until September, there was no need for me to go to Iceland. And then when I got hired for a more permanent position, for a full time position, basically, the question was asked whether I should move or not. And for a lot of different reasons, moving personally for me wasn't really an option. And so Greta agreed that we would give it a try, me being remote. It's
Okay.
working great. It doesn't stop me from doing any kind of work that I should and would be doing. So it's working perfectly fine. And
Awesome.
since then, more people joined the company as being remote. So it also helps that everyone being included, as there's isn't just me. There's a few other people in
Oh,
the same
okay.
situation as me now.
Awesome. How has that been? Like I know that obviously for anybody working from home has got to be like the most amazing thing ever, right?
I don't know if everyone would agree, but I love it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I don't know. Like obviously, like you can make the case like getting out, not like feeling, I'm in my house 24/7, but like at least like, you know,
I
being on
don't,
the road
I
and having
surely
to
don't
travel
get
and
out as
stuff.
much as I surely don't get out as much as I would want to, but
Yeah.
it having that flexibility of being able to like pop out for uh, an errand or something is really, really great, I think.
Yeah.
It has its disadvantage as well, is that I'm not in office. I don't meet my coworkers every day and stuff. We do
Hmm.
get to talk a lot. It doesn't stop that, but it's not the same. It's not the same feeling, obviously, not being in the office. But
Yeah.
it's working fine for me, and I'm very happy to be able to work to solid clouds without having to move, because it wasn't
Yeah.
really an option for me.
I think that probably both parties, you being like reflecting some concerns with moving versus what they've kind of already done in the past with moving people, it
Mm.
probably might, it was like an experiment and hopefully it's working.
It wasn't a concern related to like related to what happened to people in the past. I was very willing to move if it had to,
Yeah.
but it's just that I was living abroad for a very long time
Oh,
and
okay.
just recently came back to France for like health reasons
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and stuff. It's much more easy for me to be in a country that I speak the language.
Oh, cool. Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah.
And also like I had just bought a house and stuff like that, so
Oh,
it's
yeah, dude. I
it's
there's
kind
got to
of
be
the wrong time to
logistical
be
stuff like
moving just after that.
you're uprooting your entire life.
Kinda, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I know it's difficult.
maybe
So,
eventually one day we'll reconsider this, but for now I think it's the best move for everyone.
oh, I couldn't agree more. If people have the ability to like, if you're already like doing like some kind of working in front of a computer at a desk or whatever it is, or on the phone, like it's probably it's more logical for people to at least, checks and balances and making sure people are there and actually doing their job. If you can do it from
Mm,
home, people should be right now.
yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Now that I have you, I'm gonna. I've I've thrown together some questions. I'll try not to rough you up too much, but I think that these episodes and yourself and having Yingvi and anybody else that wants to come on this and promote the game, I'm not going to get brutal. That's not my goal with these episodes. Is to be like make people like corner somebody or make people just feel mad. Just I want interest in the game, and
Mm.
like some of these questions are going to be the social media related, but I've got some questions for you. So since you've been there, what have you felt like has been easy about, you said you are not only community manager but you do everything there. Is it easy to make fixes? Is it hard? Like what when somebody posts something on the Starborne Discord, what's the order of operation from it becoming an idea and then actually making it into the game?
It really depends on what's been requested. Like sometimes if it's so for the let's do it in order. Like for everything
Yeah.
that's bug fixes related, if like the how do I put it? Like if it's a very big issue, it's obviously going to be priority.
Yeah.
Um, Stuff like recently the station that were in displaying fleets, for instance, is
Hmm.
really something like we'll want to fix very urgently because it's really annoying. Even like it affects the quality of life of players playing,
Yeah.
and even as players we see that and it bothers us, so we want to fix it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of smaller bugs that are obviously on the list and we are monitoring, but if it's something that can be very easily worked around, we don't tend to like put it in priority unless it's very easily fixable. And like if I'm fixing some related thing and it's this tiny thing that I can do, which is mostly in the same place and I can fix at the same time, like I'm gonna do it obviously.
Yeah.
Um, so that's for bug fixes. For everything that is new feature related,
Yeah.
it's gonna like it's the same. We basically have to fix priorities, and we're gonna decide on what has the most impact for the game.
Yeah.
And especially like it will also vary on the objectives we fixed ourselves. And currently, what we're looking into mostly is new player experience and
Yeah, I saw that.
retention,
I
player
want to give you guys
retention.
kudos. I think the wiki is great. I haven't been able to dissect it all that much because I played tournament recently. I've been
Mm.
making my series, and I think that it's healthy for players, devs, anybody who's playing this game to take breaks. Like we all need a break. And you guys, not only are you guys making the game and playing sometimes, like that's just got to be something else in itself. But yeah, we
The wiki felt exactly in that new player experience. It feels like the information and the quality of information about the game was not very good, and the
yeah,
wiki really helps with that. And we're hoping that more players are going to be able to stay in the game and not be demotivated by the amount of information that you have to learn about it. And
yeah,
making
the
that information accessible felt like it was the first step to player retention, basically.
exact yeah. I you know, um this when that first starter screen, when people close it and all of a sudden it's just like, I'm on my own, like it's getting, my I think the wiki is great. I think you guys are doing a great job. I've looked through it for 2 seconds. It's amazing. And I think it's obviously a good feature and all that stuff. And I know, like, I wanted to touch on this. Like, maybe you can give me an idea on like what's the team right now. Like, obviously, like, it's up to you how much you want to share. Like, is there two people working on this? Is there three? Like, obviously there's like the team out there is bigger than two or three people, but when you guys are approaching and actually implementing stuff, like, how, like, if you don't mind sharing, how many people are actually throwing together these ideas and getting them into the game?
Um, so I'd say the Sovereign Space team is about 5 people,
Oh,
with
okay.
some more gravitating around that. So when we need them, basically, um, the full-time Sovereign Space team would be that. Other people like come in and go as we need
Yeah,
them.
yeah, I'm not trying
Um,
to fish or prod or anything like that. I just think
no, no,
that,
no, no, it's all right.
yeah, yeah.
So it's me who do most of the dev, and then we have two other people who are the basically tech leads that help whenever I need help, basically,
Oh, yeah, yeah, okay.
um, and coming with inputs and stuff. We got assistance from the art department when we need to.
Oh, okay.
Um, and then there's Ingvi who does most of the marketing, but also deals with most of the game balance and game design decisions, basically. He's going to be the main person to like propose stuff and arrange them and
So
stuff.
so we can blame him, is what you're saying, right?
We all have our
I'm
say,
kidding.
like everything's being discussed. So
Well, it's
he
good. I
doesn't
got
take
this
decisions
information
alone, but he's
now.
going to be the main.
I haven't done my interview with him yet. I can go after him.
He kind of is the, if I can call him, the project manager. Is that
Yeah,
he's going to
good.
oversee everything. And
I
then
will
Brent
say
is
this:
doing a
I've
lot of
I've played
the.
with him several times. I'm assuming he played tournament. So, like, I that's the
I
greatest
believe he
thing
did,
that
yeah.
my one criticism I've had for such a long time is, like, how in the hell, like, and this is not going after anybody. It's just like what
Mm.
I think people should be. If I had, the magic, the crystal ball, the person that should be balancing should be actively playing, like getting to end game and trying out and testing these builds and stuff. And I think he's doing an amazing job. Even though I go after him, like, I'm not going after people to, like, out people. It's just I want to generate and generate these conversations in the first place.
But it's totally healthy for the game that we're able to interact with the players and discuss
Yeah.
ideas and stuff. Because sometimes we think of something and we post it. It seems like the most amazing ideas we ever got, and then somebody says, "Oh, but did you think about this?" And we're like, "No," and kind of ruins the idea, and kind of makes it pointless or whatever. Or we have to improve on it, or suddenly the idea is terrible and we shouldn't do it. So it's really healthy that we are able to discuss with the community for sure.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, and I getting back to the team, I think that everybody that hasn't put in the work in, and like this interview is going to do an hopefully amazing job of kind of letting people understand like truly how many people are actually working on Sovereign, how these, you put something on a Discord, does it make it like, what's the chain of command? Like, I know, and I wanted to share this. I know, do you guys still do your meetings? Is it weekly? Is it daily? Like those meetings where you brief each other and everything that you guys have been working on?
So we have daily meetings where everyone is talking about what they did the past day and what they're going to do the current day, so that we're all aware of who's working on what every time,
Okay.
which is really, really good for us to be able
Yeah,
to
I think it's great.
know. Yeah. And also, it doesn't last very long. So, like, it's just 10 minutes at the beginning of the day and you're done with it.
Yeah, and I think maybe I was so I will tell a little bit of myself. I went over there for a week. I didn't
Hmm.
Yangvi wasn't there, but I met Snowgums, I met Omni, like I met everybody that was currently there. And I was there to just sit in on one of those meetings or a handful of those meetings. And I think
Hmm.
it's great. And I think but that the meeting that I sat in on was like an hour. We like negatives, positives. I think it was flu. I think that was the main thing that was going on is flu server.
I wasn't there at the time, but
Yeah.
that must have been a hell of a meeting.
Man, I know. I'm not. There's so much we could actually talk about. Like you coming in and like just hearing about some of the like not trashing the game. It's just like some of the issues that the game has run into.
Hmm.
With when servers are dropped, and then you got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, whatever that number is, people actively trying to spawn onto a server. There's gonna be issues. Like I just I mean at least or hearing about like what was your now I mean since I got you like what do you think that the team learned from flu? Like I'll just use that as a topic point.
What did I think the team learned about flu?
Yeah, like
No, I wouldn't be able to tell you, to be honest. I
oh
wasn't there at
okay.
the time. I came in the team in started really working for Solid Clouds at the kind of at the end of beta, because it was server 24 already, I think.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's hard for me to like put in perspective.
Okay, yeah, no worries. And maybe I could I'll write that question. So I did have a question about so when like a good example is we just had tournament server, and
Hmm.
I already asked you this question privately, but maybe you can elaborate. Is there any way to get these more important servers? Is there ways to make them more stable at the start? Because I was trying to if you want people to stream on Twitch, I know that this game probably isn't a game you want to stream, like especially if you want to play it, but I know I could care less. Like I will
Yeah.
stream whatever I know because the first day nothing what information are you really giving out about your start? So what my question is there any way to possibly get a little bit more stability instead of on these more important servers or maybe explain how they work when a new
To
server is dropped.
to be honest, it was working so well for a very long time now. Since basically the beginning of Omega, we didn't really have any problems of server stability like we had in beta.
Yeah.
And I absolutely wasn't expecting the server to die, especially not so
And
fast.
yeah, and this might just be a
Um,
really bad example, and I'm just it's more of just asking the question itself because you
but
know
yeah, if we happen to redo that again, the tournament server, it's
yeah.
definitely something we have to look into. But there's a few things that we have to look into before we redo tournament server, I believe.
Oh yeah,
Um,
like is did like you obviously like Yingvi was telling me it was a success. Do you want to kind of maybe share like your guys's impressions of how turn went? Like we want to see like Sovereign has to be successful in order for us to continue playing the game.
mm,
So was tournament uh, from the team? Did it sound like it was a success to you guys?
it was a success in that it gathered a huge part of the community that got to fight there and learn from each other and everything. And it was also a success, as in we tested the sector win again,
The what?
the sector win condition.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It was good.
And that didn't work out so badly. It worked out pretty well, actually.
It went
And
well. Yeah, I think it went. I think it was great. I just think
yeah,
that like there's
there
always going
was
to be the conversation of balancing who's spawning in on your team and stuff, but that's politics. That has nothing to do with the
it,
game.
it it has nothing to do with the game, and it kind of has to do with Starborne being this kind of sandbox game where everyone kind of do what they want, and where you cannot control every aspect of it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I would
But
hope you
yeah, I
can't.
do believe the tournament was a success. But there's a
Oh
few
yeah.
things that we'd like to improve interface wise before we kind of redo this type of thing again, and also server
Do you
stability,
mind
of course.
elaborating a little bit? What do you mean? Like, what do you guys on the?
I don't have a list like that, like just off
Oh
the
yeah,
top
no,
of
you're
my
good.
out of my head. But there was a few things, a few tiny things I remember, like having the notification for capturing victory points that actually display the sector and not the alliance.
Okay.
The maybe all the part about the politics panel displaying actual information about how you're supposed to win.
Okay.
Some of the things were a bit dodgy, and we've been told by some newer player that they got confused, that they didn't
Okay.
know it was sector win, and then suddenly learned about it when sector started capturing
So
VPs.
just more information on what the server's trying to accomplish.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. No,
maybe
I
like
completely
make
agree.
it a bit different in the launcher UI as well. Like make it clear it's going to be a competitive server. Maybe not for everyone to join, as it can be quite discouraging for new players to drop
Well,
possibly
I
even a few
well,
days late into very, very competitive server where they aren't really able to achieve anything because of it.
but sometimes I can tell you, I play dissidents, and the sector stuff this is my opinion. It allows new players to at least be able to be like, hey, you might want not don't go mid, but stay back and just at least play and like at least it's a
And
good
learn, yeah.
and learn. Maybe
Yeah,
this
yeah,
isn't
yeah,
the
I
server
agree.
to go mid and get blown up, but at least sit back and watch what everybody else is doing.
But all those quote unquote smaller servers that the community will call dead is actually a great place for the new players to experiment and try stuff, and trying actually to go for the win where
Yeah,
they can actually compete,
true.
versus when
Yeah,
there are those big alliances. It's going to be really hard for you as a new alliance to take a place and to try to achieve something.
yeah. No, that's great. I'm glad that there's been some things that that you can tweak, and like balancing stuff, builds, all that stuff. Like that comes from the players actually playing the builds, and I know Yingvio's on there too. Like I think that everything you guys are doing is great, especially playing, like actively playing. And I know it probably sucks because you do this for your job, and then you got to do it on your pastime. Like unless like you get somebody like the
Thanks,
very rare
Starborne. That's
player
not
that
true. It
just
doesn't suck at all.
no, I know.
It
I'm
doesn't
just
suck at
saying,
all.
like,
I
I'm
love
giving
playing
you the
Starborne.
benefit of the doubt, being like, I don't have to live this game, 24/7.
Well, there is some days that I wish I could shut it down, but
Yeah. Oh,
I don't. I'm not playing all the time too. Like I take breaks, like everyone
yeah.
else.
No, I completely agree. It's very healthy. I want people to know that, and I want people to hear that it's okay to take a break. Like you don't
Yeah, of
have
course.
like that's why like I feel like, and this is just me talking out loud, and maybe you can elaborate on this. Like the scheduling
Mhm.
thing, I think is an amazing idea. Like for instance, like every 6 months, we know for a fact that there's going to be a tournament. I know you guys can't project that stuff, but if Sovereign is profitable and we know that it's going to be here for the next 6 months, like being like, hey, like July 1st or whatever Thursday that is going to be the next one. So people can be like, hey, I can play up until May,
Mhm.
take June off, and then July 1st I'm ready to go.
We'd like to have like a more. We'd like to get there, but we are in fact living a bit day to day currently.
Yeah.
Not in that there's a risk that tomorrow sovereign space is getting shut down. This is not happening.
Yeah.
But we cannot really plan six months ahead either.
That's what I'm saying. It's just like in the
in
perfect
6 months,
world.
in 6 months, there's probably going to be a lot of changes. There's going to be different maps. There's going to be
Yeah.
a lot of different bugs that have been fixed and a new one that have been introduced by other stuff. So it's really hard to like plan ahead really and tell when we're going to be, especially for 6 months. Like we could plan maybe 3 ahead, but 6 is, I don't see it.
Yeah. No,
Not yet.
what I'm getting at is like with the success of the tournament and generating the conversation of burnout, like if people know, like, you know, if it's every 4 months, or if that, like, it, instead of it, the community having to force a tournament, we just know, like, hey, like, we, like, Crossfire is our baby. We're gonna make Crossfire. It's gonna, we know we have the numbers, and it was like tournament was great. We know we have the numbers to make Crossfire this tournament server. We know, like, 3 months from now, like, you know, May 1st, June 1st, July 1st, it's going to be the next one. And just see if, like, or even, there's nothing wrong with approaching the people that put together the last one. You know, it was Purple. It wasn't me. I didn't do anything. I was working at the time. But I was just like, you know, I'll play, but I think it's a really good and healthy for the game to, like, at least be like, hey, let's try to put a date for the next one and see if there's interest, right?
This one was coming from the community mostly because the first experience of the tournaments ever wasn't that great. But it did turn out that it was for very unrelated reasons. The experience of the flu on tournament basically turning flu was that there was a new version of the game at the time that wasn't necessarily stable, as the experience proved. And so flu kind of turned out, it went well, but it didn't start it very well, at least.
Oh, flu, dude. Oh man, I don't even get me started on. The reason I talk about flu is because it was just.
So I do have a lot of good memories about flu, though.
I'll talk about flu for just a minute. So there's basically two teams for flu. Like you could say Zorka had a team, okay, but they weren't spawning in. Like we had a team together, and then when flu dropped, and like I'm not gonna put my foot in my mouth. I'm just gonna say that certain people were prioritized to get their stations fixed that couldn't get in the game before others. Like, I'm just saying, like, when things are being fixed because people literally could not get into the flu server because alliances got corrupted, players could not log in. Like, some people had to wait 5 or 6 days versus some people were at the top of the list. Yeah. Like certain names, certain people that have been around the game for a long time, they went to the top of the list. And my players, some of my players had to wait 5 or 6 days, and then by that time they were so far behind, they just quit. Like
that is kind of why it got rebranded and didn't actually.
But what I'm getting at is, like, we still tried to play, and there's nothing. But again, like, it was flu. It is what it is. But what it ended up being is just one team kicking the shit out of the other team because of the fact that some people's stations got prioritized getting fixed first versus the team that wasn't at the top of the list. So that's what I'm getting at, is like, it was a tragedy. And I had committed, like, I was in Iceland when flu dropped. I was playing. And so, like, I knew I had committed to the game, but I lost like 6 or 7 people, and then in our coalition we lost like 15. So we're going up against.
But I think to remember, there's a bunch of people that dropped from either side.
I completely agree. Singularity's alliance got corrupted. I understand that, but they went to the top of the list and had their stations fixed first. And then I had guys waiting 5 or 6 days to get fixed. So what I'm saying is I'm not trying to make excuses for flu was a disaster, but I still played it, and I kept my 17 guys out of 25 active. But it's just like, you know, like that's why I'm saying, like, what did the team, you know, learn from that stuff? And how, you know, how do we not allow something like, you know, that to occur? Is there ways to, you know, buy
I
stronger
think
or more reliable servers than something like that ever happening
it
again?
wasn't. I don't know if it wasn't really servers. Like I don't know if servers were an issue. They were in beta where they kept crashing. Generally in the
Yeah.
middle of the night because I like doing that. Um, and there was server change at some point. I think to remember they were moved and hosted in different places, more
Oh,
stable
okay.
places. This is part of this and the fact that there's a lot less players on our server now contributes to the fact that we have a lot less issues
Yeah.
than we had in the past. But there's definitely stuff like it. There's no way now that we're doing patch fix and major updates without having thoroughly tested them for
Yeah.
at least 2 weeks, if not more.
Yeah.
Um, I think the main issue of flu mostly and having other issues after updates like we had in beta as well was that stuff like there's a obviously stuff were tested, but there's a limit to the test you can go through,
I know.
and
I
some
I was
stuff
right
will
there.
always go through basically.
We asked. I think that, and this is just me talking out loud. You don't have to react to this, but I think that there, like, tournament literally happened to or had to happen on that date, or it wasn't going to happen. And the problem with that was we didn't even flex test the server, like dropping like a, you know, three or
Hmm.
400 people
I
with the
remember there
new
was
bug
a
fixes.
preview server or
Knew we
whatever.
knew it was going to be a disaster.
I
So
don't honestly. I don't know the specifics. I
yeah.
wouldn't be able to
No, I know.
comment.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not here, like, this is a
Hmm.
separate video that I could
We're,
possibly make if I ever just want to
we're
just.
branching out basically
Yeah,
to
exactly. No,
server.
this is not the intent of just trying to, you know, pick apart the negative
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, no. So with let me draw from my do you have anything that you could possibly share with us that you know is on the horizon for Sovereign? Do you see, like, you guys, any spicy stuff, like the fobs I think have been a success, the AS has been a success. Is
The
there
fobs are
anything else that you
amazing.
guys
I
are
love them.
working on right now?
Really great. Well, yeah, we talked about this a fair amount already, but we're working on like having some kind of reputation system. What we've been internally called the the player ranks.
Okay.
So it's going to be a system where playing and winning certain positions and stuff at the end of the server will grant you experience points, and those points will allow you to um, grow up in ranks basically.
Okay.
So the more you'll play and the more you win servers and the more you complete achievements basically, not related to the actual achievements in game that will give you resources, but like if you are the top one sabotage player on a server, or if you're the top one bomber player on a server, you'll gradually gain some points that will contribute toward that rank. And it's basically going to be a system where the players that the best players and the players that won the most games are going to be rewarded for this and are going to gain some kind of reputation. Um, it's going to be kind of a ranking system, uh, but in a more subtle way.
So,
Does it make any
like, being
sense?
able
What I'm
to
saying?
draw and paint a scope of success over multiple servers. Like, is it
Exactly. Yeah.
yeah. Like,
So basically,
I
you know
think,
that if that player has achieved this rank, then he's an experienced player.
yeah.
Um, but yeah,
No, is this
this
going to
is one of
tie
the features.
into? Will this tie into the? You've got those. I'm drawing a blank here. The badges. That's what I'm talking about. The badge system, is that going to tie into that, or do you have anything you can reveal about possibly the badge system? Is it going to tie into that?
So I'd like to introduce the badge at some point because we do have them, and we're not awarding them for now.
Yeah.
But it's going to be a different system.
Okay.
It's going to be something different.
So this is going to be a brand new menu, basically, or is it going to be part of like the leaderboard menu?
It's going to be integrated in your profile menu, basically.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah.
It's linked to your account, so it's really a reputation system. How well you've performed on previous servers that you've gained ranks, basically.
So is this just gonna be basically more bragging rights, or is it actually gonna be like a developmental thing? And what I mean by that is, like right now, as a perfect example, I'm playing on my third account. I don't have any of my policy research done. It's actually a detriment of me to play on an alt account because I don't have my policy cards leveled up. Is this gonna be something designed that it's gonna force people to want to play on their main accounts, or is it just
Well,
this is just bragging rights?
it's you're gonna want to play on your main account because otherwise everything you win is not gonna count towards your
Yeah,
reputation system if you play
bragging.
against
Yeah.
them. Um, but yeah, other than that, it's not gonna give you any kind of advantage in game.
Oh,
Although
okay.
there's going to be rewards for every rank that you achieve.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Um, is
You're
so
welcome.
I understand there's always these reflections we can do with the different maps and stuff. Like what do you have positives you want to share about? Like, so you have a 3 map pool right now. Is there any ideas or focus on introducing a new one, or are you guys just trying to make those a solid 3 maps?
No, we're gonna have a fourth one soon.
Oh, good. That's
Hopefully, it's
awesome.
coming from next server, depending on how testing goes.
Oh, good. I don't. I mean, it's up to you if you want to share that stuff. I just, I've played Crossfire was the tournament. I thought it was awesome. I think
Crossfire is
that.
really good. I really like it as well.
Oh yeah,
But
it's
I like that all the maps, and that's we've been aiming to. All the maps have a different um, strategy linked to it.
yeah,
You'll have to approach them a different way, and you'll have to position yourself differently, and you don't have to change your playstyle, but you have to think about where you go as an alliance and whether you go as a player differently, and how do you proceed. And I kind of like that, having to play differently every time.
yeah. And I think more of gravity is more of like we're just ignorant to it because we've never played on it before. Like like in the same thing with Crossfire and Event Horizon. It's like you know that they have certain strengths. Like one you start mid and you expand, one you start on the edge and you go
Mhm.
mid. Like and then one has labor only in very very few areas. Like
Mhm.
it's just they do cater to different strategies, and I think that's what
Exactly.
people, and myself included, need to understand is they do
But
certain things.
there's like obviously you're gonna like one map over the other
Yeah,
because you like the way it plays differently. And that's normal, I want to say.
yeah, no,
Um,
it's good, it does, it
but it's
creates
also nice to have
strategies.
some. It's also nice to have some kind of variety when playing maps. Like I don't want to play the same one over and over again.
Yeah, and
So
and I will say this, I've talked to people and they're like, there's criticism. It's like, is the focus of the dev team to keep just copy and pasting different versions of maps and not really bringing new things in, or is it what's the real vision, like, and these are just like people I bump into when I play with different teams and all that stuff, and this is just me making more a statement and not a question to you, but it's just like it's good to have you here to kind of explain this new
mm,
ranking system on servers that you've played, getting a new
basically
map.
the idea of with maps is that we'll have several ones that we can draw from
Yeah,
when we want to start a new server, and
yeah.
that we have several maps to be played. Yeah.
I've got you here. Okay, I just I get a project. Um, the success of the Alpha 8, the Alpha 9 map. I'm not saying bring it back. It's too big. I understand that. Is there any? Oh, maybe that. Okay, Yingvi
I think
even
I
Yingvi
think you're
already
gonna
answered
like.
this question to me. It might be the same answer.
Uh-huh.
I'm telling you, there's a lot of people that love, dude. Dude. I don't know what happened with the Dyson, and I hated coalitions for a long time because I felt like we didn't have enough teams to cater to teams of 80 or 100. We've never had that. Flu, we didn't have that. And I always was a huge critic of coalitions being that big. But I think that the Alpha 8, Alpha 9 map was amazing. And so, like, if we had the new unique hexes, the new changes to the fobs, the new AS, like, and then incorporating the Dyson and like that 7 sector map would be amazing. Maybe, do you have any thoughts on that?
We're not closing the door on bringing back the Dyson, but it's
Yeah,
not priority.
yeah,
Dyson will require some work in that the way it works, the way it worked until we removed them
yeah,
was kind of terrible. The way you could last minute bomb them and lose all your points kind of don't make sense to me and to us, generally speaking.
yeah. No,
Um,
I've lost a couple. I was on the receiving end of it. I know how they work.
I was on both ways. It's not fun. But yeah, so we're not closing the door on putting back the Dyson into the game, but they need to be changed first.
Yeah.
And it's not really priority. I think it
No,
works well
it's
enough
not
the
me
way it
fishing
works
for you to
today,
do.
and
Yeah,
we kind of want to improve that first before introducing new elements, basically, or
yeah.
reintroducing new elements.
My philosophy is like it doesn't have to be a win con. I just want. I think it's such a cool idea.
Yeah, I
You know
see. You
the
just want to see them on the map.
Yeah, see him on the map because the GT interaction with unlocking
Mm,
it was amazing. It allowed
yeah.
for for teams to understand coordination and assigning these GTs to certain people or settling them early on so you
Hmm.
have them. Like I think it was like just another layer of
Yeah.
strategies that you had to do like early on. Like you needed to unlock your Dyson, and if the Dyson was tied to not a win con, but like station or ship buffs or movement
Mm.
speed or something, I they just having them on the map. I think it would. It's just great, and I'll leave it at that. Let's
For
see.
the
So
for the alpha maps, though, let me just tell you, I think you're gonna like the next map for this.
yeah, okay, good. That was like, and this is more just it's more strong communication from a handful of people that have wanted to see that map, and I think I'm one of them just because of maybe it's nostalgia, maybe it's memories, but I feel like that even exploring the concept of we don't need 12-week servers, but having at least one server like a legacy server that doesn't have a win condition and just post it. I know things cost money. I'm not ignorant to this, but like having a legacy server that just you throw up, everybody knows, you tag everybody and be like, hey, this server's going to be on for 3 months, like go stomp everybody, go do whatever you want. I don't know. I think that there's room for having something like that, like a long server. Do you have any thoughts on that?
I don't know. I don't even know if we would technically be able to like reuse the maps and stuff. Like the issue that we had with the very big maps and the very big servers on beta is that they weren't really stable.
Oh, really?
Um,
Why is that? Is it
well, remember that we were restarting them fairly often. I don't exactly know why. I wasn't part of the technical team at the time.
okay?
Uh, but I know that yeah, they were usually it was happening that they will die suddenly for no reason.
Huh?
Probably because there was too many input or something. I don't exactly know. I But
Yeah.
yeah, it's
Okay.
the
Yeah.
the
No
thing
worries.
is
That's
that I do have also very fond memories of Alpha. I don't exactly know if they are from nostalgia or if just because it was really great.
yeah.
I do believe it's part of both. It's a bit of both.
Yeah. Well, I think
All
that
I know
it's
is
just
that
that the win conditions, and you had more time to play. Like my thing was is I had more time to play with fobs. I had more time to
Mhm.
play with feeding certain people and getting capitals on the map, filling up like warping around with two, three, four fobs was so much fun. Like
But
that was
it was also a lot longer and it felt a lot slower too. There was a lot of dead moments where you didn't really had anything to do, and
well true,
it
but
felt a bit boring in that regard.
again, like I think that this is more of, and this is, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but getting people that understand, like leading teams, developing talent, developing people that actually know how to keep their guys active. I don't think it's necessarily the game's fault that you're just building ships. That's the leadership's fault. Like I don't know. Like I've always kept my guys active. Like I was back on Alpha 8 S6, I kept my guys active. A9 S4, S5, S10, S12, S11, I kept my guys active. Like I think that that's just more of a
Mm,
leadership thing than
maybe. I
yeah.
it's hard to tell, to be honest. I just know that it's working well the way it is running today, and we're not yet at the stage of us making experiments
Yeah,
that
no,
big
yeah.
with past servers and stuff. Yeah.
No, I'm glad you're sharing some stuff. A new map on the horizon, some way to have passively ways to show your progression on different servers is amazing. Um, the badge, I don't know. I think that there's such a good conversation we could have just about badges. And I know like there's all these ideas that we have to make the game great, but it's still implementing all that stuff and it takes time. So you can have 1,000 good ideas, but if you only have two or three people actually implementing them, it's going to just take too much time.
We do want to implement new stuff, but I believe like most of our efforts currently is fixing what doesn't work,
Yeah.
and adding what we think.
Well, and then
We all working
retention.
like high priority basically. Like when since I've been starting in September, it's been mostly bug fixes.
Yeah.
We have introduced a wiki. Next, we'll be introducing the rank system. Um,
Cool.
and then we'll probably go back to doing more bug fixes because, as we know, there's a few that still lingers around. But it's probably going to be a cycle of like fixing bugs and introducing new features and stuff like that,
That's great.
until we get to a point where, because we obviously still want to, even for us, like it's very motivating to be introducing new features,
Oh,
uh, but and we still have to fix stuff once in a while too. So I
I
think that's
wanted
the
to
best
ask
way
you
to
this.
hmm
Now that like I always have butterflies when I start an episode and stuff like that. But now that I have you settle into it and you actually talk to somebody and get to know them, I think this is our first time ever talking. Um, the round tables. Is there any room for possibly doing those again?
We've been talking about it recently. Yeah,
Okay,
we'd
good.
like to.
Yeah, that's
We'd like to.
great. I feel like they did a lot. They did a lot for them, informing players, new players, old players. Okay? First and foremost, you mute everybody, and then just get the people in there that understand what they're talking about. But and then at the end, after the round table, you can have open
Mhm.
mic questions. But
Yeah.
getting a vision or things for people to look forward to, even if they're very small, little, tiny things. I think that's again, this is like the social media thing. The round tables are amazing, um, and then
I
and
think we've been interacting at a regular basis with players a lot more than we used to.
yeah, no,
Also,
I agree, I agree.
and the need for a roundtable every couple of months is probably not as needed. But it still would be a good thing to have, like, let's say, at least once a year or twice a year, so that we could get everyone in the same place at the same time and get everyone to ask questions, and everyone would get to hear the answers. And also, most of the time, those are recorded as well.
Yeah, no, I
So
was
it's a
when
bit
I was
good to
here, I was
check
recording them.
people.
I still have them, so
Yeah,
uh, I
we'd like to get those back. We do have to organize them and plan them, but hopefully it's something we'll be able to do. Yeah.
That's great. Thank you for sharing all that stuff. This is spicy. I didn't know what to think. But uh, this is great. The other thing I'm gonna really prod you on, and maybe I'll just ask you some stuff about like Iceland and stuff. Do you feel like this is maybe just a question I'm gonna put out there is
Yeah.
the social media stuff. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna make a statement real quick. So you guys spend money on marketing. You spend like I still see ads for this game, but
Yeah,
the
yeah, we
real
do advertise a bit. Yeah.
yeah, but the real draw for a game is just like these little subtle interactions using
Hmm.
Facebook, using Twitter, using YouTube. But because I can tell you, games
We're definitely
live
not,
and
not we're
die by
definitely
people
not
actually making content for them.
we're definitely not very good at using social medias, I don't think. We're
Yeah,
very interactive on Discord, but it's kind of a closed platform, as
it's
in
very
you actually
closed.
have
Yeah,
to join. Yeah. Um, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube is a different story, as in it takes a lot more time to create a video and stuff.
yeah.
But I do feel like we could use Facebook and Twitter in a more efficient way. Um,
I
I
I'm just
there's
prodding you. You don't have to. You don't. I'm just.
mm,
Yeah,
um I hope that it's something we eventually get to do. But I know the marketing team is kind of uh, they have the handful with mostly frontier related stuff.
that's
Um,
all good. I'm just trying to create the conversation, the idea that like you can like if if you need content for certain things, like I guarantee you there's two or three or four people that play this game that would at least provide some stuff for your YouTube. I know this doesn't have to be paid. It's just it needs like
we could at
you know
least reference to playlists and stuff that talk about Starborne, which
yeah.
which
I
in
don't know. It's
theory I
just
would
like
do.
something is better than nothing. Is all I'm saying, right?
Yeah, I hear
Yeah,
you.
yeah. So I got you, so I get to prod you. You don't got to answer.
There's,
That's just me being me.
there's
Uh,
definitely ways for us to get better here. That's for sure.
yeah. No, I get you. I was just asking the question just because I got you here. Just maybe take a step back from the game. I know we explored a lot of that stuff. That's great. Thank you for sharing all that. Um, when you I'm gonna change gears here a little bit. So
Yeah.
when you've been to Iceland, right? What was your impressions of like maybe not necessarily like the office, but what was some of the cool stuff you've done over there?
I unfortunately wasn't there for very long.
Oh, okay.
I got there a week. I spent the weekend exploring and stuff, visiting Reykjavik, and then um, going a bit in the nature and stuff. I got to see geysers and stuff like that. It was pretty
Mm-hmm.
great. But yeah, I didn't get to explore much. Hopefully, I'm gonna go back in summer and get to enjoy it a bit more because the climate is kind of rough, especially in winter.
If you don't if you're not like me, I love the cold. Oh my god.
I
I
hate
am a
that.
furnace. I would much rather go to Alaska or Canada than ever go anywhere tropical. So
it
it caters to a certain body type, I'll tell you that.
I get cold very easily, but it's not
Okay.
even that.
Yeah.
It's not even that bad in Iceland. It's not that cold, but the wind
Yeah.
is terrible.
No,
But
it's
no,
great.
it's an amazing country, and I'm very happy I got to see a bit of the nature in winter. I'm gonna be. I can't wait to go back in summer and enjoy it a lot more, like being outside and not losing your feet every time you take a step because it's so cold.
Oh my I I've got stories. Oh my gosh. I I don't even know if I want to share them here. The week that I was out there, like we partied a little bit. Oh my god. We were staying, so I'll share this. Me and Exo were staying in the same place, and we had one key, and he had the key. So I was staying out longer than he would, so he would go back, and I got locked out for like 5 hours. I had to go figure out somewhere to hang out and pass out for a while because I couldn't get a hold. Like I'm from US and he was from Britain, and I
Yeah.
couldn't even call him on my phone. Like it was bad.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
No,
Oh
but
man.
it's
I
a really cool country though. Like people are really chill, very nice. Everyone
oh
speaks
oh every
English, which helps
oh
a
man,
lot
over there
because
was great. It
yeah.
was great. I want the reason I want to do these podcasts or like get people on here is because I mean I could easily have an sit here with like 4 or 5 of the guys and just talk about like the week we were out there because there was some stupid dumb shit that happened. It was so spicy. I don't know. I'll ask this. Did you meet EXO or Omni?
No, I've never met them.
Oh, you haven't. Oh,
I've talked
okay.
to them a fair amount, and we've been we've been friends with EXO for a long time.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I've never got the chance to meet them.
Yeah, I'm the
I
I'm the
I, I
bad guy in
basically
most people's stories, so it's all good.
I've basically starting to get to know everyone when COVID already hit, and
Yeah,
like traveling and everything was very heavily restricted. So yeah,
yeah,
unfortunately, didn't get to meet a lot of people.
awesome. Well, we're closing in on an hour. I don't know if you've got to go or if this is a good place to stop. But is there maybe
Oh,
anything
okay.
you wanted to ask me, or we can just wrap this up?
Well, I don't really have anything to ask you, but I just want to say that I'm really grateful for all the work you do and the videos and stuff. They're really amazing. I've watched almost all of them. I do think I've missed a few, but they're really great and they're really good at explaining players. And I do understand that there's going to be a series on the server you're actually playing on when the
Uh,
server's over.
so I have right. So currently, right now, I've released episode 9 was 2 parts because I was flying in with the station and then developing the station live for
Mhm.
everybody to watch and actually see how to do those things. I've still got like 5 more episodes to release, so yeah, I
Oh
this
yeah,
is
so
this
you're releasing episodes related to the server, but a
yeah
few weeks after, so that you don't spoil the good
yeah. I
things.
just you don't know. The
Okay.
thing is as much as I'm an experienced player, I can kind of see what's coming. It's
Hmm.
still a live server, and I don't know what will happen
And
if
obviously, you
somehow
don't want to be oversharing too much
you
of
don't. And I
your
don't want to. I mean, I'm playing
information.
solo. I don't have. I'm not putting anybody else at risk, but
Oh, all right.
I still don't know what will happen if that person that I'm mixing it up with will see the episode like right when I post it and be able
Mm.
to do something to me versus me just holding on to the episodes and then release them like 2 weeks later.
Do you do you consider playing any competitive servers and releasing all the videos after, like some of the good
Um,
moments or stuff like that? That would be really
the,
popular,
the
I
the
think.
this came, but this is why I wanted to talk about the stability of when the
Hmm.
servers drop. Is like I would I think the most critical thing about this game is the first 1 to 2 hours. I know that's crazy, but everything about this game snowballs from how fast you can get that first 150 to 200 build points. There
Yeah,
is
it does snowball, but at the same time, if you do start a couple of hours later, it's not too bad.
I will tell you this, on I started 48 hours late. That series that I'm releasing, I
Hmm.
was 48 hours late and I still was able to self-destruct. I was still able to develop my guy, get capitals, get a seven
Yeah, I'm
point
not
moon, get
surprised.
cap. Yeah, so I understand, but the thing is I don't want to. I mean, I want to show people everything, and I could care less what other vets think. I could care less what you think. If you want to hide this stuff, if you want to hide what you've learned over the last 3 years, you're only hurting yourself because no new player is going to stick around if nobody knows what to do. Like,
Of course, I do also understand the fact that wanted to keep some of the information about your fleets and stuff hidden.
yeah, True.
for the duration of the server at least.
Yeah, true. I'm not gonna. I like what I'm saying. So to answer your question, I would be more than happy if somehow there was another tournament server. I could not lose my girlfriend over it, because again, this commitment to this game is just that it takes a lot of time. But if somehow I were
You
to
need to get the girlfriend to play the game, and then your problem is solved.
I don't think anybody's girlfriend plays this game. I don't think
Well, I'm
so.
somebody's girlfriend, and I'm playing the game. So
Okay, I understand. Okay. But what I'm getting back to is I don't mind creating it's just I know how to pre-plan very well. I understand I could sit on these episodes for 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, no problem. It's just I would really like to be able to record the start. If people are not aware, this game you have to have a busted, crazy start.
You have to get a good start, yeah.
You have to be here when it starts. You have to get that first set of challenges done, or you're screwed.
Not all hope is lost if your start is not as great as you could. Like I've played a fair amount of servers having to start late for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And it's doable. You can catch up.
You can, but the thing.
But you have
like,
to do what you're doing
especially
in any case.
the problem that I run into is, unfortunately, the guys that are here that understand how to get that first 150 200 blueprints in like 20 minutes or whatever it is, not blueprints but build points, they are so far ahead. Like we're talking like they can snowball that lead into like 10 to 15 levels. Like I've done it before. Like maybe not on a tournament server because the level of experience, you're going to run into people doing the same thing that you are and understand how to min max as good as you. But I don't mind that. I would love to share that information, but it's just I want to be able to record it. So if the server isn't stable the first hour, I'm screwed on showing people what I know.
To be fair, most of the stable, most if not all of the servers are stable. The tournament only had the issue.
Yeah, I know.
We didn't have that kind of issue since like.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is like I'm not gonna actively be hardcore and record like unless like I know it's gonna like on the next one, So hopefully, if there's some way to that this can happen again,
safe.
I would be more than happy to make it.
You're pretty safe to go for next servers, I believe.
Yeah. No, this like again, like I I still have like 4 or 5 more episodes to release, and like I enjoy, like I think of things all the time that I know I can make a video on. It's just like right now I'm kind of just relaxing. Like I played a lot and now it's like it's kind of the burnout time.
I'm playing more of a chill server as well. Like I've been playing more casually and I'm still enjoying it. But there's also a thing in Starborne is that sure there's always going to be a lot of players that are going to go up to that 100, 200 influence really, really fast. But it's not because you're not there that you are useless in the Alliance. There's still a lot of things you'll be able to do, and you'll still be of value to your Alliance, despite you not maybe being in the top 3 or 5.
Oh, I know. And then what the weird thing is, and like it was funny when I was recording the Capital Ship Assembly episode. I didn't know that up till tournament I hadn't played in like a year. So I didn't know that they had adjusted the Capital Ship Assembly to a day versus a character level. So now I'm like, in that moment, I'm like, okay, calculating in my head, like, okay, this is why they did this. It makes sense. It allows you to set up for it. There are subtle changes that make a lot of sense. And I recognize that stuff.
This one was definitely intended to reduce the distance between.
Oh man, that was the main reason why you wanted that lead, is because if you were the first guy to level 50, you got your capitals first.
There's still a lot of advantage of snowballing really hard on the first days. Obviously there is, but we are trying to reduce that gap as much as possible
No,
and make it enjoyable for everyone.
that change alone levels the playing field, 100%.
Well, that's
Everything
good to
about
hear.
this game is capitals, and so if everybody gets them at day 8 or day 9, the guy that started 6 hours late is going to have their economy set up just like the guy that started minute 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I appreciate you being here. Maybe we can do this again, and I can maybe get Yingvi if you thought this went good. Um, any thoughts, or I can just end it there. It's been really nice having you.
It's been really nice to be here. It's been really fun.
This is again, like I know I probably have a reputation, whatever that was. Like when I went to Iceland, so this is what happened. I got off the airplane and I was super sick. Both me and EXO were really sick when we went out there. So like I'm super sick, flu drops, there's all those issues with flu, and then I ended up EXO hung out with Snuggums, and then I hung out with Fonzarelli, and that was like my whole time out there. So anyways, I know, reputations, and then me talking shit to EXO, like it's all in good fun. But the problem is like, I only know that I know I'm joking on my end, but however people take it on their end is like,
Yeah,
it is what it is.
it's not easy sometimes with the cultural differences and stuff. Like I know that I sound like I speak English very well, and then sometimes jokes and stuff still escapes me. So
No, you're fine. You did great. This has been amazing again. I hope to have you on here again. Like I said, some of these episodes are going to be just me solo, and some are going to be with Doll. And maybe I can have an episode with maybe you and Yingvi and Doll here, and we can just shoot the shit about
nice.
the things that we've learned and stuff. I don't know, but hopefully you want to come back again. And this has been great.
Yeah, it's been a great time. I'm happy
Awesome.
I've accepted this.
Yeah, this is. If you want to say anything else, otherwise I'll close this out.
Yeah, I'm all good. I'm happy to have been here, and I'm really glad of all the work you do with the videos and stuff. It's really amazing to watch.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So all right, guys, this is Gambler. The next this is gonna be episode 4. Like I said, I'm gonna be doing these interviews by myself solo, but I'm gonna try to get more people in here. And then Silly, if you wanna work some magic and get anybody else that wants to come on here, it's gonna be great. I'm gonna keep on doing these, whether it's gonna be me and Doll or just me. And then till next time, guys. Silly, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for being here.
Thank you very much.
All right, you guys. Till next time. Later, guys. Peace.